Hi everyone, it's Dr. Annie Fenn. I'm a physician, a chef, and the founder of the Brain Health Kitchen. And I'm really excited to be here with you all today for Brain It On, where we're going to be talking about all the ways you can nourish your brain. So today I thought it'd be really fun to make an easy frozen dessert that you can enjoy all summer long. So I'm going to show you how to make wild blueberry frozen yogurt. It's super easy, I promise. You don't even need an ice cream machine. Here's what you'll need. 3.5 cups of frozen blueberries, 1 cup of plain unsweetened yogurt, a few tablespoons of maple syrup, and just a tiny pinch of salt. Now, you can use any kind of blueberries you want. I'm using wild blueberries from the grocery store, but you could also use regular blueberries, you could use blackberries, you could use berries that you brought home from the farmer's market and that you froze yourself. Now make sure that your yogurt is super cold, right from the fridge, and make sure that it's unsweetened. I'm using a plant-based yogurt because I love cashew milk yogurt. I don't want you to have any yogurts that contain added sugar because there's going to be plenty of sweetness from the blueberries, number one, and number two, added sugar is just not good for your brain. So what you're going to do is get out a food processor. You could also use a blender, works completely fine. Add your blueberries to it. Add your yogurt. And we're not going to add the maple syrup yet because you know what? Sometimes blueberries are so sweet that you don't really need to add any sugar at all. So I'm going to have you blend this first and then taste it. And if you still think it needs a tiny bit of additional sweetener, we'll add a little bit of the maple syrup. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt. Not too much, but a little bit of salt can bring up the sweetness of the berries. All right, ready? 30 seconds to wild blueberry frozen yogurt. I'm gonna stop and scrape down the bowl a little bit. Oh, it's looking really good. And there you have it, wild blueberry frozen yogurt. So easy, just a couple ingredients. And everything in this dessert is good for your brain. From the wild blueberries that provide fiber and flavonols, especially anthocyanins, which are super brain healthy phytonutrients, to the yogurt, which is a good source of protein, as well as probiotics that will help you cultivate a healthy gut microbiome, which your brain loves. I really had fun making this with you today, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions about cooking and eating for brain health in the panel discussion. Really good.
Hello, my name is Dr. Wendy Suzuki. I'm a professor of neuroscience and psychology at New York University, and I'm so looking forward to participating on the panel called Keeping Your Neurons Firing, part of the Brain It On event on June 24th, sponsored by Hilarity for Charity and the Women's Alzheimer's Movement. What if I told you that there was something that you can do right now that would have an immediate positive benefit on your brain, including improving your mood and your focus? And what if I told you that those brain benefits were long-lasting and could protect your brain from aging and neurodegenerative disease states like Alzheimer's disease? Would you do it? Of course you would. I am talking about the transformative power of physical activity that is moving your body to improve and protect your brain function. And we're going to be talking about the neurobiology underlying that, as well as restorative effects of sleep for your brain. Why does our brain need sleep? Why does it crave sleep? And why aren't we getting enough sleep? I'm thrilled to be joined and to be led on this panel by our panel leader. You know her from stage, screen, and her amazing dancing abilities, Miss Julianne Hough. Julianne and I have worked together before and talked about the amazing power of physical activity, not only for our bodies and for our brains. But I'm going to tell you the real reason that I want each and every one of you to join our panel is, if you've never worked out with Miss Julianne Hough, don't miss your opportunity, because we are going to be doing a quick little experiment together, working out together to really experience the brain-changing and mood-boosting effects of exercise together. So looking forward to seeing you all on June 24th.
Hello, my name is Deb Glasser, and I'm the head of the U.S. Alzheimer's franchise here at Biogen. We are proud and honored to be a sponsor of today's first Brain It On Summit. Thank you to our friends and colleagues at HFC and the Women's Alzheimer's Movement for your commitment to brain health education and for your amazing work in the fight against Alzheimer's disease. The innovative work that you do, from promoting brain health to a younger generation, to empowering and celebrating caregivers, and to bringing awareness to the disproportionate effect that Alzheimer's has on women, educates all of us. As this group knows better than anyone, Alzheimer's is a complex disease, and it will take all of us working together to address this major health challenge. On behalf of the team at Biogen, thank you. We could not be more proud to work alongside you.
Hello, I'm Ivan Cheung, Chairman of Eisai Inc., a global pharmaceutical company that for decades has been committed to the creation of new treatments for Alzheimer's disease and the advancement of holistic ecosystem solutions for the Alzheimer's community. Thank you for joining the Bring It On event led by the Women's Alzheimer's Movement and HFC. Today's activities focus on the importance of early interventions and lifestyle modifications to help live a brain-healthy life. Eisai is proud to be a sponsor and stands as a willing partner with the Alzheimer's disease community in our efforts to help eradicate Alzheimer's and related dementias together.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Dharma Singh Khalsa, President and Medical Director of the Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation. I'm delighted to be here at the Brain It On conference with Maria and Lauren and all the other experts. What I'd like to share with you is our research on a simple memory meditation exercise known as Kirtan, Kriya, a singing exercise. So it goes like this. It has a breath, and the breath is just natural. Let the breath just come and go. There's a posture. You sit up straight, like a yogi, and then there's a mantra, or a sound. In this case, the sound is sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. With each time that you touch the fingers, you're going to be saying the sound. So it's sa, ta, na, ma. This mudra activates the brain. So you have the breath, the posture, the mantra, the mudra, the fingertip positions, and then you're going to have a little focus of concentration. Each time you say it, it comes in the top of the head, out the forehead. So it goes like this, just easy. Sa, hands, remember, on the knees. I'm just picking them up. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Silent. Now we're going to whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Then you inhale at the end of the 12 minutes. Bring your energy up, up, up. Excellent. To find out more, please go to alzheimersprevention.org, and I just want to remind you, this little memory meditation can prevent and reverse memory loss. It can create a lot of positive changes and create inner peace and spiritual fitness. alzheimersprevention.org. I'm Dr. Dharma Singh Khalsa. Thank you very much.
Hi there, I'm Seth Rogen, and welcome to Brain It On, a summit for people smart enough to make their brains a priority in their lives. So congratulations on being one of those people. Today's event is being hosted by HFC and the Women's Alzheimer's Movement and features incredible experts, scientists, and doctors who will share information on how to help you improve your brain health and prevent Alzheimer's. You will have the choice of joining one of 4 breakout sessions focusing on nutrition, exercise, the power of mindfulness, and what women need to know about their brains. And just because we believe in having fun, we have some special non-geek guests as well, including Apollo Ono, Liz Hernandez, Julianne Hough, Rocco DeSpirito, and more. Best of all, you have 2 amazing hosts, Maria Shriver, founder of the Women's Alzheimer's Movement, and my wonderful wife, Lauren Miller Rogan, founder of HFC. And now, let's brain it on.
I love that. Let's brain it on. Hi, I'm Maria Shriver.
And I'm Lauren Miller Rogan.
And we are so excited to welcome you to the very first Brain It On, a brain health journey for you. We are going to take you all through your brain. We are going to tell you everything you need to know because we're both super committed to this cause, to your brain, to preventing Alzheimer's, and bringing you the very best experts and doctors to help you take care of your brain. So both of us, we're friends. We're fully vaccinated, so don't worry, we're close together. But this is the first time we've kind of brought our 2 organizations together because we thought it'd be so much more fun to collaborate and bring our forces together. And HFC has made such a huge difference in this space. Tell everybody a little bit about what you've been doing, Lauren.
Thank you, Maria. I'm so excited about today. We started HFC back in 2012 to honor my mom, Adele, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's when she was only 55 years old. And in those years, we have really focused on helping caregivers through their journey, whether it's providing care for them or support groups or tools that they need to become better caregivers. We inspire young people to tell their story and to become advocates, because when you reduce the stigma, that will lead us to the end of Alzheimer's. And of course, brain health. Everyone who has a brain is at risk for getting Alzheimer's, and we want everyone to feel empowered and to know that 4 out of 10 cases of Alzheimer's may be preventable if you lead a brain healthy life. And that is a huge priority for us at HFC. And I'm so excited to get started and tell everyone.
That is so important for all of us to know, because when I got involved, when my dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, so we're both kids of Alzheimer's, back in 2003, there was no hope in the prevention space. Nobody was really talking about brain health. They weren't talking about prevention, and they certainly weren't talking about women. So the Women's Alzheimer's Movement was founded because we reported to the nation for the very first time that women were 2/3 of those who get Alzheimer's, also 2/3 of the caregivers, as you well know. And WHAM wanted to find out why that was. Why does a mother like Lauren's mom get it at such an early age? So we've been funding research and trying to support caregivers in this space and educate people about what they can do about their brain health to begin their brain health journey in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's never too late to get going, which is why we wanted to bring the very best experts to you today. It's never too late to embark on this journey. And it is a journey. We've both been on it. We're not only out there kind of trying to educate people and inspire people, and Seth and Lauren, I want to say, have brought so many young people to this cause.
Oh, thank you. We're trying. It's never too early to start taking care of your brain. And I think that there are so many young people who have been touched by this disease, whether it's as children or grandchildren of people who've had the disease. And something you mentioned a minute ago is you want to take action. You want to feel power over a disease like Alzheimer's, which can often leave you feeling powerless.
Right.
And learning about your brain and how you can keep it healthy has given me so much energy in this journey. And it's such an accessible thing that you can do. You can actually do it.
Yeah. And I've been to some of the events that Lauren and Seth put on. They bring humor into this. They bring hope into it. And we try to do the same with the Women's Alzheimer's Movement. And I firmly believe that if women were really focused on this disease, we would be the catalyst to find a cure for it. Because when we put our minds to something like this, no matter what it is, we get results. And that's why we're co-anchoring this special. This is my great co-anchor.
Trying my best to keep up with the pro.
She was like, as long as you lead, I'll follow. I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to follow. You're the actress, so you're the director too. But we also want to thank so many great sponsors came together to put on this event, so you can come to this event for free. We have over 5,000 people who signed up. We have the best doctors and researchers and activists and advocates. And you saw some of the people who are moderating these breakout panels. We tried to bring you the very best so that you could attend this. And we also want to ask you to support these organizations by donating. Yes, we want to ask you to donate. So you go BRAIN 91999. Now, did you get that? I may have spoken that too fast. You go BRAIN 91999, and you can donate $1, $5, whatever you can afford, whatever you think might be helpful. And we want to say that anything you donate is really helpful, and that we're going to actually pick 5 people from the people who donate to join us for the after party after we all break out for these sessions. And then we kind of come back together and talk to the moderators about what they learned. And that's what's so exciting, is so many of these moderators wanted to be involved because they want to learn. They want to be on the brain health journey with us. So that's what's super exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited to hear what everyone has to say. And the truth is, living a brain healthy lifestyle can make you feel better. I feel good when I get good sleep, and when I exercise, and when I eat healthy, and when I keep my brain active. And these things are not things that have changed my life in a negative way. They've made it better, and it is so doable. And I'm just really every time Seth and I start talking to people about what they can do to keep their brain healthy, they lean in, they listen.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I can do something here. And there's so much good information, and I'm very excited to tell everyone about everything.
Yeah, and what's exciting, as I was saying, that having been involved in this for many decades, before it was kind of dark, and now it's hopeful. As I said, we're talking about prevention. We had big news in the Alzheimer's space a week ago with the Biogen drug that was approved by the FDA. They're one of our sponsors on this. You heard from them at the beginning here. And a lot of researchers that we're talking to are saying that they're hoping that that might open the gateway to more drugs that are in the pipeline. There might not be one exact drug, but there might be others, and it might be a combination of everything you learned today, and there might be other things that are in the pipeline tomorrow. So we want to thank them for sponsoring, and also Asai also joining us as a sponsor. Once again, they sponsored this so that all of you could attend for free, and all of the people who are on the panels, moderating the panels, have donated their time, their expertise, their efforts to make this the best possible summit. So we're going to braid it on. We're going to start talking to 2 people that are really instrumental in our lives, who have been really at the forefront of this disease. You know one very well.
I do, Dr. Richard Isaacson from the Weill Cornell Alzheimer's Prevention Clinic. He's both guided Maria and I on how to take care of our brains. He is a bit of a nerd, but that is lucky, and you'll see why, and he'll laugh at me for saying that.
Well, yeah, he's a nerd.
Cell phones.
He's not going to like that. He's also a new dad, so I'm going to talk to him about that. Also, Dr. Marie Bernard, you see her there. She's been a great friend to the women's Alzheimer's movement. She's at NIH. She has a big new title. She's leading the charge for diversity, and she is going to bring us up to date. Let me begin with you, Dr. Bernard. Thank you, first of all, so much for joining us. Thank you for your leadership at the NIH, and thank you for everything you have done in this space. Tell me right now what you're excited about when it comes to brain health, Alzheimer's prevention. What's new, what's cutting edge?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. And yes, this is an exciting time. As you alluded to, a decade ago, we really didn't have much in the way of good news. We didn't know a lot about the things that contribute to the development of this illness. We didn't thus know what you might do that could be helpful to prevent it. And you certainly didn't have much in the way of things that could be potential treatments. And that is very different now. A decade ago, a little bit more than a decade ago, you basically had to die and have an autopsy for it to be sure that you have Alzheimer's disease. Now we have wonderful means of looking into the brain and seeing changes even before people have symptoms. We're beginning to find means of checking for Alzheimer's from looking at spinal fluid or looking at blood or looking at other things. We are learning all sorts of things about the factors that can seem to be associated with the development of Alzheimer's and other dementias, just as you've been talking about. And yes, the FDA approval last week of a new drug that targets amyloid that gathers in the brain. That's a new development, and we're going to have to watch how things go forward with that. The FDA is calling for additional analyses, and it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out. So it's an exciting time.
Dr. Bernard, we've talked a lot about how Alzheimer's discriminates against women. 2/3 of those diagnosed with this disease are women, and particularly discriminates against women of color. What are you doing there at NIH in terms of spreading the message about diversity, about pre-existing conditions, about getting this message out to communities of color in particular?
So up until May 31st of this year, I was fully immersed in exactly that because I was the deputy director of the National Institute on Aging at the National Institutes of Health. My title now is Chief Officer for Scientific Workforce Diversity for NIH as a whole. So in that capacity, I'm working on trying to make sure that there is a heterogeneity, a great variety of scientists who are pursuing these questions, so that when you pull together a clinical study to evaluate a drug like the one that was just approved, you're more likely to have a diverse population in which it was tested. And you can see whether there are differences based upon sex, gender, race, ethnicity, and those sorts of things. In my role at NIA, and as is continued by my colleagues, it's very well appreciated that the way that Alzheimer's expresses itself is going to vary by population. We've seen that there are differences in men and women. We're seeing that there are differences among African Americans and Blacks versus non-Hispanic whites and potentially other populations. And so the team is working really hard to try to make sure that we recruit into clinical studies a wide variety of individuals so that we can get a full picture of the illness. If you only have a very narrow homogeneous group, everyone seeming the same, you're going to miss aspects of the illness and other ways of approaching the illness that would be very important.
That's so critical, Lauren,
Yeah,
because for
absolutely.
so long, we didn't even include women in any of these trials, much less communities of color. So also bringing researchers from different communities in, they'll be looking at things from a different viewpoint, and then also encouraging people to join clinical trials. That's so important. NIH needs people, needs younger people now. That's also a big movement of asking people to be a part of clinical trials, people of color, women, men, and also younger people. So we can look about how this disease progresses over time and what are the different factors that affect certain populations, which is exciting.
Yeah, so exciting. And, and also exciting, we'll turn to Dr. Isaacson. Something that I've learned from you is that, it was something I said earlier, which is that potentially 4 out of 10 cases of Alzheimer's may be preventable. We're going to dive into these things as we go on throughout our day, but maybe you can give us an overview of prevention of brain health. How does someone get started?
Sure, but I first have to say you did call me a dork at the outside of this presentation, or a
It's a
nerd,
nerd.
or something.
No.
I got these cool sunglasses. Am I any cooler now?
Don't take
No,
them
okay,
off,
sorry,
Richard.
okay.
Answer the question.
Okay, sorry. So, so having a sense of humor, first of all, is one good thing to help brain and de-stress. So that was there. There you go. So 4 out of every 10 cases of Alzheimer's may be preventable if that person does everything right, because there are many cases out there that are based on and fast forwarded by something called modifiable risk factors. People that have high cholesterol, diabetes, high blood pressure, people that are not sleeping, are stressed out, aren't exercising, aren't eating healthful foods. all of these different things can have a really negative impact on the brain over time. Now, the good news is that lots of cases can be prevented, and maybe not in everybody, actually. In some cases, and in many cases, we can't, at this time anyway, definitively prevent Alzheimer's. But I think in everyone, we can make brain healthy choices today, like you said, Lauren, to have a positive impact tomorrow. Exercise on a regular basis, eating a Mediterranean style diet, making a plan for sleep. 7 hours, 7.5 hours as a minimum. These 5 and 6 hour things, we can't do it. We have to prioritize that. Learning about brain health is critical. And I know both Women's Alzheimer's Movement and HFC have done tremendous pushes forward to educate the public about brain health. One more thing, I want to say that everyone needs to know their numbers. Everyone needs to see their physicians on a regular basis. Even if your physician may not be aware of the latest and greatest in brain science, and you're going to hear from amazing experts today who certainly are aware, knowing your own personal numbers, everyone should know their weight, their waist circumference, their blood pressure, their cholesterol. These are all things that can slam the brakes on the progress and the fast forwarding of Alzheimer's. And we need to do that. Women, 2 out of 3 brains affected by Alzheimer's are women. We used to say we don't know why until I met Maria Shriver about 5, 6, 7 years ago. And she elbowed me on the set of some media thing and said, Isaacson, go find out, go figure it out. And now I think we understand more. And you can learn about that today because women, unfortunately, may be sitting in the fast lane when men may be sitting in traffic. And there are things we can do, perimenopause transitions, specific risk factors related to women. We really need to identify these things and intervene. I'm really hopeful because while we don't have a one-size-fits-all approach to reducing risk for Alzheimer's and prevention, every single person out there today can make a change. And I really hope everyone feels empowered to do that.
Definitely. And I guess something that I think that everyone should really hear is, when should someone start on their brain health journey? Is it ever too late?
So I don't think it's ever too late. When we first started the Alzheimer's Prevention Clinic 8 years ago, it was something that was, Alzheimer's prevention? Like, how do you even put those words in the same sentence? Alzheimer's disease begins in the brain over 20 to 30 years before the first symptom of memory loss begins. And that leaves a lot of time to make these brain healthy choices. What we do in our program is we basically ask when the family members first started having the very first change or symptom of Alzheimer's, we then basically subtract 25 years or so. And that's about when people, I would say at a minimum, should start. We initially started seeing people 40 and above, then we reduced the age to 30 and above, and honestly about probably 20s, 25 and above. Honestly, even people in grade school and in high school and college, wearing a helmet while riding a bike, not smoking. These are things that just really can have a positive impact on the brain. And those things need to start even younger. So I would say anytime. Our research has shown that, there's a cutoff about the age of 61. People below the age of 61 did better in terms of cognitive outcomes when they followed this kind of tailored plan. But people above the age of 61 still responded. It just took a little bit longer to get there. So I think anyone at any age can do this.
I think it's really important if you're 62, 63, 64, 65, don't freak out. I think embark on this journey today. I think there's a lot of fear, particularly in the boomer population, 10,000 people turning 65 every single day, worried like it's too late. It's not. Everything we're telling you today, you can start today. And that's why we have these breakout sessions. That's why we focused them. I think, as Richard was saying, particularly for women, we're going to have one on women and hormones. We're going to talk about nutrition. Richard has written an Alzheimer's prevention book. There's a lot of data now on nutrition, exercise. Every doctor I've spoken to said, if you could tell people one thing, exercise, 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 right? Diet, women, as you just said, hormones in particular, and meditation. Meditation, you were saying that's hard for you. If I can meditate, anybody can meditate.
I mean, I would love to see this, honestly, because she's always going. Wouldn't that be incredible?
Yes, you'd have to come over about 6 a.m. and I'll give you, if you donate a lot of money, somebody can come over and watch me. My foot does tap, but then it slows down. But those are our sessions today. They're moderated, as we said, as you saw at the top of the hour, with really interesting people. And so how are you going to go to these sessions? You're going to scroll down and you're going going to find your session, right? And then you're going to press the button and you're going to go off and you're going to find the session that speaks to you, that you want to hear more about. And then you're going to stay there for about 30 minutes. Then you're going to come back here with us and we're going to talk to the moderators of those sessions, what they found out, what they learned, what surprised them, what intrigued them. And so we're going to all kind of come together and then we're going to go on to our after party. So find the session that speaks to you, that you are interested in. Go there, take notes. I'm a big believer in taking notes. Take notes so you can remember what Marie said, what Richard said, and what you learn in these sessions, because the whole point of today is to educate you, enlighten you, inspire you, and ignite you to actually get going. It's not too late. If you're my age, her age, it doesn't matter. Just get going. So find your session and go.
I think first, are we doing a video?
Oh, do we have a video first?
I think we have a video from my adorable husband first, actually, I believe. And then we're going.
Okay, because Sandy told me we're going now.
Oh, sorry.
So, but maybe we'll go to Seth now. So where should we go, Sandy? Should we go to Seth or should we'll go to Seth? So let's go to Seth because he'll make us laugh and then we'll go to the sessions. Seth, where are you?
Hi there, I'm Seth Rogen. I'm very sorry I can't be with you live today. I'm currently on set filming a TV show. I hope you are enjoying Brain It On. After hearing from experts like Dr. Isaacson, Lauren and I started taking steps to protect our own brains a few years ago. We've incorporated HFC's 5 brain health habits into our daily lives. We have a great sleep routine that includes us going to bed at the same time each night and keeping our room very cold. We learned to make pottery, which makes us happy and calm, and we are learning to make glazes, which challenges our brains. We found exercises we both enjoy, like hiking and HIIT training, and we eat healthy foods like vegetables and salmon, even though we don't love that. These are easy to do and important because science tells us that 4 in 10 cases of Alzheimer's may be preventable. Today's event will help you start your own brain health journey. In a minute, you can join one of 4 breakout sessions focusing on nutrition, exercise, the power of mindfulness, and what women need to know about their brains. Each breakout session is filled with a great mix of doctors, scientists, experts, and also celebs like Rocco DiSpirito, Liz Hernandez, Julianne Hough, Apollo Ono, and more. So enjoy the breakouts, and when the event is over, you'll be ready to start your own brain health journey. And now, back to you, Lauren and Maria.
Even if you don't like salmon, you're eating it, right?
We are. Well, I like salmon, luckily, but they're definitely, it's the salad for me, and I really have to try. But I do it. But green leafy vegetables, not my favorite, but they're important. So
I like my vegetables. Salmon, I have tried in every incarnation. Cannot get it together, but I keep trying. Okay, so now you're going to go to that orange Join Now button, and you're going to go to the session that you signed up for or that you're interested in, whatever you want to do. They're all great. They're all interesting. And then we'll come back here and talk with all the moderators of those sessions so you'll be able to hear what happened in the session that you didn't go to. So there you go. The breakout sessions are beginning now. Go to the orange Join Now button that is next to your choice and press it. And boom, I guess you'll go in there. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. So we have some good news and some bad news. All right. The good news is too many people showed up. And the bad news is that they didn't get included in the breakout sessions. But then there's now more good news. So first of all, let's say we're sorry about that.
Very sorry about that.
Very sorry. We're like really, really sorry. But the good news is we're going to get every session for you. We're going to email you all the sessions. We're going to post it on the websites, but you are going to get a full download of everything that happened so you don't miss anything. All 4 sessions coming directly to you. So you didn't see it in real time, but you're going to see it. And we apologize for that. But it just tells us that everybody wants to find out about these 4 areas and they want to go on a brain health journey. So we're excited about that, but bummed that everybody couldn't get in.
Yeah.
But we have the
appreciate the patience,
Yeah.
and we, have our amazing moderators joining us.
That's right, we do, because they're going to tell us what happened in their sessions, and they had to handle people not being able to get in. So bravo to all 4 of them, and we're so happy they're all joining us. We were able to listen in.
We did listen in.
Yes.
And heard some good stuff. And I feel like there was a lot of really good, useful information shared.
That was the whole point. So we want to welcome back Juliana Ho. We want to Rocco DeSpirito, Liz Hernandez, and Malika Chopra, and all of them are experts in their space. So Julianne, let me start with you because everybody knows you from Dancing with the Stars, and you've also just started a whole new company, and you're really into brain health and exercise. What surprised you about your session? First of all, thank you so much for doing it. But what surprised you?
Well, thank you for having me. And yes, that's exactly what I'm passionate about. The holistic approach of how we move our body and how that directly affects our brain health and the building of new connectors. So we had an incredible panel of Dr. Wendy Suzuki, a neuroscientist. We had Jen Zients, who focuses on the cognitive fitness and the cognitive health. And then of course, Apollo Ono, the most decorated US Winter Olympian, speed skater, and also my Dancing with the Stars partner. And it was just an incredible conversation of learning about neuroplasticity and how we can build new connectors in our brain, the function of movement, our positive thinking, our emotions, and how that really affects the new growth cells. And then of course we had this really beautiful immersive breakout at the very end that Dr. Wendy Suzuki led us through, where she got us up all on our feet. We were saying positive affirmations while moving our body. And it was just amazing to watch this neuroscientist who is just living her best life, having so much fun, and showing us what is possible. We can be very thoughtful and conscious about how we're dedicating our function to help our brain, but it doesn't mean that it has to be boring or hard. It can be really fun. And in fact, the more emotion, the more excitement, the more creativity that we create, it helps build those new brain cells. So it was just beautiful and amazing. And thank you for letting me be a part of this and share.
Oh, are you kidding? We're so happy because you're just such an inspiration to so many people. I watch you and I'm like, in my wildest dreams, could I move like you? But I know you've really been, I think, involved in this space, trying to urge people that it's not just about moving your body, but what that does to your brain, to your mood. And you've been talking to researchers and scientists, and you have a new company called Kinergy. But did you hear anything in there today that made you step back and go, wow, I hadn't thought about that. I didn't know about that.
I think one of the things that I recognized in my life was that dance has been a superpower. And I started very early on, and a lot of people can be intimidated by the fact that, well, I haven't found my superpower yet. And the superpower is that we have this anomaly, this brain inside of our head. And that is the extraordinary thing. And so we all have a superpower. It's just about how we use it and how we actually focus on our creativity and how we have innovative conversations. Because after this last year, this is what Jen Zients talked about, was over this last year it's been super challenging, and we've got into a comfort zone of not being innovative with our thoughts because we've been home and done what's comfortable. So now coming out into the world again and being creative in how we have conversations, I said, I feel like I have no personality. I don't know how to have a conversation anymore. And then she recognized, she was like, no, but this is where we actually grow, is by thinking and being creative of how we communicate with people, and that our creativity comes alive. And instead of being surface level, how do we get deeper? How do we have deeper conversations to connect with individuals? And that's going to actually help our brain function. And you don't think about like interaction and relational when you think of building new brain cells, but that's what life is about. It's about creating memories and experiences with people and getting to know each other and, you know, feeling those emotions. And that's what builds our new, you know, it's like a bubble bath, you know, getting these new connectors in our brain. And I just thought that that was really fascinating. It's about relational connection.
I love that.
I love that too. I love that. And it, you know, it's about what works for you. I think what you said about your superpower and finding your own strength. And, you know, I think back a couple of years ago and I hadn't moved my body in a long time and I was like, oh, exercise, no way. And I had to dig deep and find, like you said, in a way, my superpower. And I'm not a dancer by any means, but I move my body in a way that works for me. And it gives me energy. It really does make me happy. And I thought that was a myth.
Well, I think what she also does, which is so great, is she makes it look fun.
Yeah.
And inviting. You inspire us to get up and move, like the way your attitude about it. So that's such a positive thing, because having fun, being excited, doing it with somebody else, that's part of it too.
You're not going to do it if you're like, oh God, I got to run again.
Totally. Exactly. And that's what Kinergy is, my new company. We're trying to shift the way that we look at fitness as this external thing, but it's this internal energetic expression. It's not about perfection. It's about expression. You move your body the way your body was designed to move. And so, Lauren, I love that you said that, because it's not about what you look like. It's about how you feel. And when you feel amazing, your belief systems change. And when your belief systems change, your actions change. And then your whole life changes. So I thank you for saying that. And again, thank you for having me. This is just, I'm so passionate about life. And this is life-giving. Thank you.
That's so great.
Julianne Hough, she's such an inspiration, such a leader in this space. And I've seen her, and we're so glad that you joined us. And I want to hear more about Kinergy and watch it grow and be involved and help you guys out. And so that's, exercise is such a big part of the brain health journey. So we're so great that she joined us. Now, Rocco.
Yes. Another
hi.
Part, of course. Nutrition.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We popped in a little bit. We heard a bit about the discussion about sugar, which of course we want to hear a bit more about, but I know that you have a real passion for making things that are delicious synonymous with also being healthy. When did brain health, when did cooking healthy and delicious become a part of your life?
Thank you for putting it that way. That's something I've been saying for a long time. But healthy and delicious are not mutually exclusive. I really appreciate being here with you guys, Maria and Lauren, and of course, all the other panel leaders. And of course, I was lucky enough to be joined by Dr. Annie Fan and Dr. Aisha Shirzai, who are neurologists and brain-focused physicians who've written and are in the process of writing books on the subject. And I had a tremendous amount of knowledge. And what was wonderful to hear, and so much of what they had to say was confirmation that a lot of the things we've been hearing for about 10 years, I would say that the last 10 years was a very special time for very high quality information and research. The previous 20 to 30 years, lots of research, not sure it was very high quality. And in the last 10 years, we've certainly confirmed that a diet full of sugar is not good for you, and that includes alcohol, unfortunately, everybody. And the doctors that joined me today confirmed that, and they also confirmed that living a Mediterranean lifestyle with a plant-based diet is still the best way to go. And I felt that way for a long time. I watched my mother, my grandmother, all of my ancestors live a long, healthy life with high cognitive function till the end in most cases, who ate a mostly plant-based diet. So it was great to hear that. And it was also fun to hear them not tolerate excuses. There were at least 50 questions from the audience. And, we heard the typical, I don't have time, I don't know, I don't know. I live in a food desert, and they had solutions for all of those situations. There are solutions for all the complications that we face in life. And just like Jules' superpower is movement, if you can cook even a little bit, that's another superpower that will really help you live a longer and healthier life. So if you're thinking about learning how to cook a little bit or learning how to make good food choices, this is a really great time to do it. It's never too late.
Rafi, did anything that either of them say surprise you? We came into the sugar is sugar is sugar is sugar, get rid of it.
I was a little surprised by that. Yeah. I've been a proponent of coconut nectar for a while. It's very high in fiber, very low on glycemic index. So it's got a low sugar impact. It comes with a lot of the fiber that they spoke about being so important. And, at the end of the day, there's a certain amount of, glucose that you consume when you consume any sugar. I was happy to hear that they support monk fruit and stevia. I've been a fan of both for a long time. There's still a tremendous amount of confusion when it comes to those two ingredients, confusing those with lab-made chemicals that appear to be natural sweeteners but aren't. And I was surprised to hear that coconut manna, coconut butter, was not their favorite fat. I happen to love it for both external use and internal use. It's great as a beauty product. It's great as a food ingredient. But Dr. Shazai said no to coconut nectar, coconut butter and coconut nectar.
I don't think I knew that one either.
Right.
I'm going to have to go back and do more research.
Yeah. I think that I like what you said, Rocco, the last 10 years, we were talking originally, I was saying so much that's out there right now didn't exist when I was Lauren's age. And really in the last 10 years, we're talking about nutrition, food as medicine, and food as being able to reduce brain fog, improve mood, focus, deal with type 2 diabetes in particular. How have you changed your own diet? How do you approach food differently based on what you're learning?
About 15 years ago, I had an issue with declining health, and I had that talk that everybody has with their doctor. Luckily, I was still in my 30s, and I had to have the big breakup with sugar. It was a tough breakup. There were a lot of tears. It was definitely a toxic relationship, and that includes alcohol. And listen, I still have my troubles with it, but getting rid of sugar and sugar-based snacks and simple carb-based snacks is an absolute must first step. Unless you're a triathlete or a dancer or someone who's burning 5,000 calories a day, there's just no need for it, no use for it. Our bodies can't process it. We can't use it as fuel. We're going to store it as fat. It will cause brain fog. It will cause neurodegenerative diseases. I think, like I've said in the past, if you've had a toxic relationship with a human being and felt the benefits once you've gotten rid of that person and know how it feels to be emancipated from that relationship, you'll feel the same with sugar. It'll feel immediately better. So give it a try, even for a day,
Okay, I've talked to a lot of people in this space. No one has equated it with the toxic relationship, but that's helpful. That's helpful, Rocco. I'm going to give it to you.
I guess so. We'll look at it that way. Sometimes I'm like, but I can't let go. I love you, sugar. I love you.
But he's right. Sometimes the doctor has to do it, or your kid or someone who loves you has got to say, no, stop this, right? And I think we're hearing a lot, certainly in this whole COVID period, we're hearing a lot about mood, about brain fog, and kind of people are beginning to equate some of that with their food and what they eat in the morning and how they're able to concentrate, and also getting kids very early on a nutrition program that helps with their learning, that helps with their attention, that helps with their brains.
Yeah, right? and an active lifestyle. The opposite of a sedentary lifestyle. We've all been sedentary for a long time now, and I think we've all forgotten a little bit what it's like to be moving all the time. So getting back to that lifestyle quickly, I think we can all agree will have a positive impact. I also really appreciated that both Dr. Shazai and Fen live in areas where they can forage local ingredients, and they talk about local, but they also talk about cooking a lot. They both cook a lot, and their favorite foods was pizza. They both eat a lot of pizza. So if there ever was a need for proof that healthy and delicious are not mutually exclusive, two neuro-focused doctors, one's a neuroscientist, one is originally an OB-GYN doctor, but is focused on the brain health now, agreed that pizza is probably a great food to start with and part of the Mediterranean diet. I thought that was very surprising to me, but super fun.
That's great news.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Yeah, break up with that toxic sugar guy and start dating pizza.
Find the pizza person.
We're gonna thank you, Rocco, so much for
You're welcome.
Superpower in the kitchen. We have a superpower dancing with your body from these two extraordinary individuals. I have to say, I'm looking for a different superpower, but I'm hoping that maybe eventually I'll have one of those. And we have somebody else.
And of course, we have Liz Hernandez, who is joining us. She is a journalist who has prioritized brain health in her life. She spoke with 3 amazing doctors about women and the role that hormones play in brain health. Liz, did you learn anything new in your incredible conversation today?
Well, first I want to say, Maria, Lauren, thank you for having me. Yes, I felt very lucky to be sitting in a room with such educated, just all-knowing women when it comes to dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay. What I took away was the 3 C's, and that is that our brain wants to be cared for, our brain needs compassion, and our brain needs connection through community. And I'll start with the first one, in being cared for. Just understanding that while our brain, a lot of times, whether it's pre-menopause, going through menopause, after menopause, there's a shift happening in the brain. And while that our brains are changing, is that we have to make sure that we're looking at what is causing us extra stress, what isn't good for our diet, make sure that we're getting enough exercise. Dr. Britton said it beautifully. Our brain is an energy machine, and we have to look at the flow of energy that's constantly coming in. So if that's just making sure that we're doing things that are putting us in a good space to use our brains cognitively, like learning a new skill set, making sure, again, that we are looking at what we're consuming, because we're just talking about sugar, also just other bad habits, maybe that's smoking, and how that actually affects women more than it does men. I mean, there was just so many things that you're just kind of taken back at what women are more predisposed to and what could really affect us in a different way. And so for me, that was very enlightening. And just compassion, we talked a lot about the importance of getting quiet and having meditation and what that does just to our stress levels, of making sure that we're just mindful in how we are processing all the information that is coming at us on a daily basis. And just, even if, I think Dr. Caldwell said it best, she says, even if you're sitting for 5 minutes and just saying to yourself, I'm thinking a lot right now, it's self-awareness to say, I'm thinking a lot right now. And at least you're kind of learning to calm down the nervous system a little bit. And the importance of connection and community, of not isolating ourselves, is extremely important as well. It's making sure that our synapses are firing, that we're getting those new experiences. And overall, I think too, another thing that was really important to highlight was just the fear of, if someone in our family has had Alzheimer's or dementia, and feeling like that is my destiny, and that is not the case. I think Dr. Mosconi said it best. You can say, I am my mother. I look just like her. We have the same hair. We have the same nose. We have the same eyes with the same smile. That doesn't mean you're going to get dementia or Alzheimer's. She says it only raises your percentage about 20 to 30%, but it really comes down to our lifestyles, how we're caring for ourselves, looking at the risk factors. And I'll go back to those 3 C's, making sure we're caring for the brain, making sure we're compassionate with the brain, and that means self-talk, and of course, connection and community. So I was really excited.
Beautiful
I've
summary.
never heard that before.
Yeah, I love that. And Liz has, like her mother had Alzheimer's. She's been on the front lines of this disease and advocacy for it. So we're so grateful, Liz, that you moderated this panel, because you know what it's like firsthand as the child of Alzheimer's. And I know you've taken steps in your own life to change the way you're living, to change your health journey, to change your brain health journey because of what you saw with your mom. And what are the big changes you've made yourself?
Well, one of the things I want to say, Maria, too, that I thought was really important that Dr. Mosconi brought up, how important it is for us to be participants in studies. So I gave her my word that I'm actually going to sign up to be a part of their studies, because I do want to know where my starting point is now at the age I am, so that in 10 years from now, they can actually say, if they see anything, they know what my starting point looks like, but not only for myself, but we have to be participants so that we can have sessions like this and get information. And I think that's so important. But how I've changed my lifestyle, I have dove deep into meditation. I do it every single day, even if it's just taking in 10 deep breaths and getting present with myself. It's, just for me to kind of reset again the nervous system, because I know that's really impacting how I get through my day. I exercise. I try to cut out sugar. I really do. I used to be a big, I have to have dessert after every meal type person, even if that meant like a little Hershey's Kiss here or a little, and now I have fruit. I make sure that my house is filled with, even if it's like oranges, something that's kind of sweet, like mango, anything that has that sugary, but it's natural sugar. And I'm still working on cutting out the alcohol. I think that's a hard one. I think, after a red wine or, maybe something a little stronger, but, that's the only thing. But I am really mindful in making sure that I try to put myself in situations where I'm learning new things, where I'm challenging myself. Before it was so easy to say like, oh, I don't really need to know that skill set. I don't really, and now I'm like, what else can I learn? Somebody teach me something that's going to challenge my brain, even if it's, and you read those small articles about brush your teeth with your left hand because it's going to fire off other parts of your brain. I mean, those have stood the test of time, those little tips, because they actually do work. Take a different route home. I mean, all those little things help the brain and its elasticity, and for us to just, continuously supply ourselves with just new small experiences. They don't have to be these big, extraordinary life events. They could be something so small that's just, again, firing off new neurons.
Liz, thank you so much. And thank you for the commitment to join a trial. We talked about that at the beginning, how many trials depend on people signing up, and people of all ages, all communities, because that's how the science, that's where the data comes from. That's where we get the superpower. That's where we learn. And so thank you so much for doing that. And thank you for being the advocate and activist you've been in this space. And I know you will continue to be. So thank you so much. I love that everybody has made these small incremental changes, whether it's moving more, whether it's trying to make advancements with getting rid of sugar, breaking up with sugar. But, a lot of the things that people are talking about, meditation. Now we want to talk, because we had a whole panel with Malika Chopra on meditation. And that's something that I started several years ago. Lauren can't believe it, but it's true. I swear to God.
We're sitting still? I don't know.
It's true. And Malika, what you've done so much in this space, you've written books, we've worked together before. Anything surprise you in your panel?
It was an amazing panel. So one, thank you for including me. Such an honor. We had Dr. Dharma Khalsa, who is one of the experts on integrative medicine, Lakeland Hogan, who really focuses on caregivers, and Dr. Karen Epps from Emory University, who's also working in particular with nurses and African-American communities. So I think in general, we talked about spiritual fitness, what everyone here has talked about. In fact, it's so great to hear the other panelists, because I will say that even from a personal standpoint during COVID, I never used to really drink much. I kind of got in the habit of having like one little whiskey every night. And after 3 or 4 months, I realized, oh my God, what am I doing? And it's about being kind of self-reflective, forcing myself to exercise and move. So I think we've gone through a 1.5 years where we all really have to reflect. And that's where meditation and these practices come into play. Maria, you're a great example actually of someone who says, oh, I can't sit still, but sometimes it can be as simple as taking a deep breath in and out. And that's what we tried to do as we began this session and ended the session, because so much of this is about practice. And so the panelists shared everything from love and self-love, something Dr. Epps talked about particularly with Black communities and reaching out to Black churches, looking at prayer as a form of both personal, spiritual, and community connection. And, all of those levels affect obviously our brain health and overall health. Dr. Khalsa talked about purpose. And so that also, we don't necessarily associate that with meditation, but having a sense of purpose and service is part of traditions, wisdom traditions around the world. And so we can always add that to a meditation practice. And then Dr. Hogan actually talked a lot about self-care for caregivers, for nurses, and the importance of support groups, asking for help. So while the conversation was around meditation, faith, and emotional well-being, it really incorporates that holistic, integrative lifestyle. And I loved Dr. Khalsa uses this term spiritual fitness. And so, how do we merge stress reduction, basic well-being, and psychological, spiritual well-being into all of our practices?
I love that. I love the description of spiritual fitness.
It really creates such an image in my mind to create purpose while you're working out, which I think is so important to just move your mind.
Yeah.
You don't have to move your body. You can move your mind, and that can help your journey and help your brain.
And you can quiet your mind. You're actually, there's so much coming at people today. And I think so many people, when they're talking about the brain health journey, right, they talk about, relaxing, getting rid of the stress. And that's so much easier. I used to hate when somebody said to me, relax. I'm like, I would if I could, hello. But I think that meditation, or looking at it as spiritual fitness, as a different connotation. It's why words are so important, right, Malika? You just kind of think about it as a practice, as a purpose, and as spiritual fitness for your brain. That'll help you.
And I think one of the things I've learned in working with children is find, just like everyone else said, find what practice works best for you. So sitting quietly for a lot of people, especially like when you're with 10-year-old boys, you're not going to get 10-year-old boys to sit still for that long, but you can direct energy to, using your body and your breath, to going for walks in nature, to using yoga or exercise or fitness. So there are we use this overall term of meditation or mindfulness, which can feel daunting. But if we really think of it as kind of breath, connection, and self-reflection, I think that helps make it more tangible.
I love that. We want to thank you so much for moderating your session. So important on spiritual fitness, on meditation, on purpose, on quieting. That makes us better parents, better professionals, better providers, better people. And certainly, I think that's what the world needs. We see a lot of examples of rage out there right now. So it behooves us all to become mindful and to kind of take responsibility for bringing our temperatures down, whether we're on social media, in a car, in a community, right? And that's so great. And I know everybody will have a chance to watch that panel if you weren't able to get in. And once again, we apologize for everybody not being able to get into all of these panels. We didn't know that there were going to be so many people trying to get in at the same time. So that's the good news, bad news, but you'll be able to watch all of these panels. You'll be able to look at all of them as superpowers. I think in conclusion, you'll be able to find out about hormones, about women's health in particular. You'll be able to find out about spiritual fitness, about nutrition, the importance of nutrition, and then again of movement, like Julianne Hough was saying, you know, the importance of making that fun, moving it around. And we want to thank all 4 of you for joining us. They all volunteered their services. And once again, we want to thank them for taking time out of their very busy schedules for doing that. And our sponsors.
Thank you so much. Amazing. Yes, we had incredible sponsors today. Of course, we've mentioned Biogen and ASI, of course, Kensington Senior Living,
Yes, great.
who are incredible partners to us. Home Instead, always such great friends to us. Eli Lilly and Cole and Accenture. Everyone has to come together to change the course of this disease, and these organizations are always so generous to support us and our work. And so we thank you so much for helping make today happen.
Yes, and these are all organizations and people who have stayed the course, right? This has been kind of a tough field. Not a lot of hope in the Alzheimer. We always heard about this failed and that failed, and all of these sponsors have been in the space. They didn't give up, just like all of our moderators. They've been out there. They've been working in their chosen professions. They've been trying. They've been working, and they've been friends of our organization. So together with our sponsors, with our moderators, and obviously all of you who came together, we have some winners. Remember, you had to text at the beginning of our Brain It On brain health journey event today, and we said if you texted brain, what was the number?
Brain to 91999.
91999. We have some. Okay, so we have Marie Racine, Julie Richardson,
Maria Flowers,
Cece Madden,
and Darlene Fahy Britton.
Yes, so they need to check their email for a link to the after party. And that when they get that link, when you go on your email, you'll get a link, and then you'll join us at the after party. I've never done an after party. I mean, of course, I've been to an after party in my life, but I haven't been to a Zoom after party.
Sure, she hasn't.
There's not going to be any sugar at the after party.
No.
Okay, there's going to
Or
be
alcohol.
There's going to be no alcohol, no sugar.
It'll be a brain healthy after party.
Oh my God. Is that going to be fun?
It'll still be a party.
Yeah, we have a special guest. We're going to laugh at this after party, right? We don't, do we have any food?
We have food, we have snacks. The people who are attending have received a brain health box.
Yes.
We're going to unpack it together like a little gift. Gift of brain health.
No cookies in there.
There are no cookies in
there. There are no cookies. Okay, well, we'll try to eat healthy. We want to thank everybody for joining us for Brain It On. Don't forget, you will get all 4 of these breakout sessions direct to your inbox. We want to thank you so much. And next time we're going to plan for thousands and thousands of more people who will crash into these seminars. But we want to thank you so much for joining us. I'm Maria Shriver.
I'm Lauren Miller-Rogan.
And we want to thank you for taking this journey with us. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.